Welcome back to Chamber Connect. I'm your host, Deb Newman, President and CEO of the Bangor Region Chamber of Commerce. And on this episode, we are connecting you to a wonderful resource for business. If you're thinking about, gee, I'd really like to start a small business, I'd like to expand my existing business, I'm over it and would really like to sell my business, or I'm just trying to think about succession planning because I want to retire. Anything related to small business is what SCORE is all about. And David Green is joining us. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Deb.
Thanks for being here on Chamber Connect. So first of all, for those who aren't familiar with what SCORE is, let's start there.
Okay. SCORE is a national organization. We're affiliated with the Small Business Association, or the SBA, and we're a category of volunteers who have either subject matter expertise or general expertise in business. Most of us have owned a business or still own a business. In 75% of my mentors in Northern Maine, they're still active in business. So it's we have lots and lots of experience. We've managed businesses. We help people, as you said, who are thinking of starting a business, who have started a business and say, okay, this isn't as easy as I thought it was, to people who are growing their business, expanding their business, or selling the business. People of, in their late 60s or 70s have, had enough of the fun and say, I'd like to go to the beach more. I'd like to spend time with my grandkids. So how do I sell my business? What is my business worth? I've been in it for 20 years or 30 years. It must be worth something. So in cases like that, we connect them with a subject matter expert who specializes in buying and selling businesses, and they'll put an evaluation on it and advise, if you want to get the best price, then I suggest you stay in it for another couple of years, increase your revenue, say, or here's the 3 avenues you can go to sell your business. So it's all of the above. I would say at least 50% of our clients are in business right now. Maybe a third have just started their business in the last year and need some expertise to make it work. And about a quarter maybe are thinking of going into business, and they don't know how to do it, and they don't know how easy it is or how complex it is. So we help them make those decisions. Do I want to do this or do I not?
Well, having been a business owner myself, and you're a business owner, it can be lonely out there. And it's good to have somebody you can talk to and just bounce ideas off of, who has no relationship to you. They're not a family member, they're not a customer, they're just completely neutral and have a lot of experience to bring to the conversation. And sometimes you just need affirmation. You need somebody to affirm that, look, I'm making this decision, or I'm thinking about making this decision, whatever it might be, and for somebody to just say, I would do the same thing. That's huge.
Yeah, it is. Some people have some native business expertise, or they've gained it from the companies, and they know what to do, and they just need a friendly shoulder to say, well, is there a market here? How are you going to make money from this? What's your business model? And they think about it and say, oh well, those are good questions, and so we follow up a few times, and they get their head around what it is they really want to do. I had one client, he's a young guy, probably in his late 20s, who said, I want to start a customer relation, education management system. And I said, oh, that's interesting. People in this part of Maine won't know what that is. How are you going to describe it? How are you going to get traction with this idea? And he described what his ideal market was. And it turned out the next 3 clients, SCORE clients I talked to, all had seasonal businesses, and they wanted to expand into the winter and find ways of making money. And I said, oh, I know this guy, Peter, you should talk to him. And so he kind of got his leg up and got some early early adopters that way through people I knew in SCORE.
It's all about making those connections.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, we have connections in SCORE. Most of us are generalists. We know a lot about business. If I need to find someone who's an expert, subject matter expert in grant writing or in marketing or in finance, I can find someone locally in Northern Maine to do that. If I need something that's we can't find in Northern Maine or Maine, through SCORE we can find people in other states, in California or Texas or Florida, who can step in and help with their specific expertise.
And what I love about SCORE, and there are many excellent resources for small businesses available to you in the state of Maine. What's unique about SCORE, and you touched on this, is that the volunteers have all been in business themselves. So you can relate on that level, like, oh, I've been there, done that, I'm a business owner, and that's very helpful, I think.
It is, because many people start off saying, I want to do this, and this. And that's a mistake I made, myself, my business partner, Ginger, who's also my wife. In the early days, we came to Maine and we had big business expertise. You can tell from my accent, I'm not a Mainer. I've lived in Scotland, England, Canada, Texas before moving here. So I came with lots and lots of experience and said, okay, we're going to do this, and this. And in this part of Maine said, so what? We don't really need that. So we built our website around our capabilities of all the things we can do, and really cut back to the things that we could sell in this part of Maine. Executive coaching, leadership development, and a bit of facilitation, and all the other things that we could do. There really wasn't a market for it. So I can bring that kind of expertise to my clients and say, I know you want to do many things, you have expertise in many things. So what was the one thing that's going to make you money in the early days?
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing that will give you traction? And then you can expand into other services or other products.
Yeah, it's figuring out that bread and butter.
It is.
What's the bread and butter first?
And many clients don't want to hear that.
Right. They want to do this over here, but
that's right.
You got to pay the bills, and it's got to be profitable,
mm-hmm.
right? Tell us more about your business, because you and Ginger have been in business for quite some time here in the Bangor area.
Yeah, we've been in business for 20 years now. We've lived in Maine for 20 years. We came because of family. Ginger's parents lived here. Their health wasn't very good, so we said, well, let's move. We don't know if we can make a living here. And so we do executive coaching, we do leadership development. Most of our clients are out of state. As I'm speaking right now, Ginger is doing a workshop with the University of Kentucky. So University of Kentucky, we work with the Army Corps of Engineers out in the West Coast. Have a lot of clients, actually a lot of my clients on the West Coast. I work with an engineering company and I've been coaching their branch managers over the last few years. And we do some work in Maine. Biggest client right now is in Northern Maine, Presque Isle. So that's a lovely going up there in the winter time.
Yeah. Well, have you found, and we're talking with David Green, if you're just joining us, about SCORE, but we're also talking about your business experience here in Maine. Did you find that the pandemic and the move to virtual and Zoom was good for your business?
Yes, eventually, I have to say. We were doing most of our coaching and most of our leadership development workshops in person. And then when COVID hit, we had phone calls and emails saying, sorry, we can't do it, it's not safe. And so pretty much all our business went away. So we had been using Zoom for a couple of years, and so we pivoted to Zoom. We spent a little bit on Google so people could find us, and then we started getting calls from all over the country. So our business model changed from being mainly local to mainly away. And it was also, SCORE was the same thing. We couldn't meet with clients face to face, and so everything was going to Zoom. Northern Maine, we were Chapter of the Year, by the way,
congratulations
for 2025.
Wow.
Yeah. Our territory is big. It's 300 miles north to south, all the way from Knox County to the Canadian border. And it's always been hard to meet with clients, and Zoom has been a lifesaver because our mentors are all over the state pretty much, and our clients are all over, say, Knox County to Aroostook County, so it's much easier to do things in Zoom. Our mission, I should have said that earlier, but our mission is mentoring and training for small businesses. And so if you don't remember anything from this, score.org is the one place to go to find mentors. It's one place to find local training, and the one place to find national training as well.
It's a very good website, score.org. And you make a good point. As business owners, we can get so busy. We're so busy. Been there, done that many times. What's great about being able to connect with somebody from SCORE on Zoom means you don't have to take a lot of time away from your business. It's very convenient.
Yeah, that's right, because if it's a 1 hour with SCORE, it's 1 hour with SCORE. It's not half an hour or an hour or 2
Driving,
hours.
travel, right.
Yeah, travel, particularly in the winter, that's a real pain. So it's convenient, very convenient for everyone. And using Zoom, we can share websites. Artificial intelligence is huge now.
Oh, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. So pretty much all the mentors are adept in using artificial intelligence, either using ChatGPT or Gemini, and we can teach our clients how to use artificial intelligence. If there's something you need to know, here's how you can find out on your own.
Awesome, that's great. Score.org, and then I also want to talk about how to volunteer, but before I get to that, you have some events up on the website. You can check that out. Can people sign up to receive a newsletter or email when you're having events? Is there a way to connect that way?
Yeah, we have a marketing guy who's actually in Portland. He's not a mentor, he's an employee of SCORE, and if you go to score.org, you can sign up for training programs. We in Maine we probably run 2 a week, thereabouts, and we probably get an average of 40 attendees per session. So his name is Dan Reed, and you can sign up for a newsletter, and you'll find out all the training that's running, either in Northern Maine or in Maine or national.
Now, if you're listening and you are a business owner, or perhaps you're a retired business owner, and you would like the opportunity to share your expertise and make a difference for our economy and for other businesses, what's the process to become a SCORE volunteer?
Well, you go to score.org and you click on volunteer, and it tells there's a few videos there saying about what a day in the life of a volunteer, a day in the life of a mentor is like. So you can find out what the commitment is in time. SCORE says, if you've got 10 hours a month, that's adequate, and you can sign up to be a volunteer. We have 3 people going through the onboarding process right now in Northern Maine, and it's the onboarding process is you take about 6 hours, or maybe it's 4 hours of online training. It explains about what SCORE is all about, what the expectations are, how what it's like to be a mentor, and then you go through at least 3 co-mentoring sessions where you're working with an experienced mentor, and you go through those sessions as a participant, and the first one you'll probably do more listening than anything. By the third one you're probably leading it.
Right. And what I love about it, and we have to wrap up here. No, this is great. We could talk all day about SCORE. What I love about that is not only as a volunteer are you sharing your experience, but you're also learning, because you just talked about AI, and you're learning from other businesses. So it keeps you engaged and sharp, and it's a wonderful experience. And the one thing we forgot to mention is that it's free. FREE, is that correct?
It is free. We're all, it's a volunteer organization, it's all free, and it's confidential. We sign a code of ethics every year. We can't share what we learn from our clients outside of SCORE. we may go to other people in SCORE and say, okay, I have this issue, I haven't come across this before, can you help me? And we get help there. But yeah, it's free, it's confidential, and our tagline is for the life of your business. So it's all the way from entering the business to selling the business and riding off into the sunset, or the beach, or wherever you're going.
Real quick story as we wrap up. I was a business counselor myself and worked with the owner of a golf course, and he decided to sell the golf course because he wanted to play golf. When he ran the business, he had no time for golf, so he retired into the sunset and was able to play golf again. Just an example. So David Green, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us on Chamber Connect.
Well, thanks, Deb. It's been a pleasure being here, and SCORE.org.
SCORE.org.
The
All right.
one-stop shop.
And thank you so much for listening to Chamber Connect here on True Country 93.5, 96.1. I'm your host, Deb Newman. We'll catch you next time.